This is the Administration and Public Works Committee meeting, and we have a quorum, and we're going to start off acknowledging National Water Week, and we had a contest, and we have some of the most important people in town tonight here, and those are the winners of the contest. And Laura Biggs from the Water Department is going to make these presentations. And everybody smile because you're going to have your picture taken, you're going to be on national TV.
Thank you, Alderman Rainey, members of the committee. My name is Laura Biggs. I'm the Superintendent of Construction for Utilities. I am happy to announce that National Drinking Water Week is coming up May 5th through May 11th. The purpose of this is to celebrate water by recognizing the essential role it plays in our daily lives. For the last several years, the city has organized public outreach activities to draw awareness to our drinking water source, Lake Michigan, during this celebration. This year, Evanston has chosen the theme Drinkability in recognition of the role that clean, safe, reliable drinking water plays in the City of Evanston Livability Plan. We held 2 art contests in honor of National Drinking Water Week. We had a 3rd grade art contest, drawing and multimedia, and we had a photography contest for middle school. The top artwork will be displayed at the Evanston Public Library during National Drinking Water Week, and so now I would like to present the winners of the contest, and I think the mayor is here to present the plaques. So, we've received over 150 entries for these contests. Our best entries were selected during a variety of methods, including online voting. And in addition to a lovely plaque, our top 4 winners will receive 4 beach tokens each and a reusable water bottle. So our first award is the People's Choice Award, which was determined by online voting. And the winner of this award is Charlie Cassidy from St. Athanasius Elementary.
Oh, wow.
Cameras up there.
The 2 of us.
Come here.
Right here. Smile. There you go.
Oh, hold up
Can
your
you see
plaque.
yourself on TV?
There you go.
Way up there.
Yay.
Our mayor selected a winner, and the winner of the Mayor's Choice Award is Jadani Tamayo from Jaws Elementary.
Oh, yay, does. Yay. Look how cute she is.
And the 3rd grade artwork that most embodied the spirit of water is selected for an award, and the Water Spirit Award winner is Logan Hagani from the King Arts School.
Yay.
Hold on. Okay.
I want to thank everybody that works hard for all the clean water. Really, I really appreciate it.
All right.
Yay.
And then our final presentation tonight is we have 1 winner that's determined by online voting for the middle school photography contest, and that is Sebastian Valenzuela from Baker Demonstration.
Hold it.
He needed the picture. I think it helped.
So thank you, and please stop by to the main library to view all the artwork next week.
Thank you. I think we'll let him. Bye. Okay, next on our agenda is approval of the minutes of April 13.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's going to be easy. First purchase item or payment item is the payroll through April 5, $3,024,482.75, and then the city bills, $1,658,252.72. Could I have a motion to recommend?
Move for approval.
All right,
Second.
any discussion about these? Everybody get their bills list?
Saw the questions. Can I have a quick?
Okay. Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
I think Alderman Redway wanted to wait a minute.
I'm sorry. Usually I'm not.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? That would be you.
No.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, Alderman Holmes, you go first.
Okay, A 3.1, approval of the renewal of the sole source of software license and service agreement with the Sun God Public Sector for Computer Aid Dispatch System, CADS, in the amount of $75,119.30.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I'll take the next one. Approval of a contract extension with Healy Asphalt for hot mix asphalt in the total amount of, $39,200.
Move approval? Oh, second. I'm second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alderman Brady?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move for approval the purchase award for the 2015 pavement marking services in the amount of $50,000.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. A 3.4, approval of 2 replacement vehicles purchased from Curry Motors in the amount of $61,962.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are you with us? Huh?
You want to do this?
I'll do the next one. Are you in favor of this?
Oh, yes.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry. Next, approval of the purchase award for, we did that one. Okay, we're on A35, right?
Yes.
Approval of the contract with Schroeder and Schroeder for 2015 50/50 sidewalk replacement program in the amount of $356,610.
Second.
Yeah. Second.
Any discussion? Yeah,
We'll let
okay with
this one
that?
pass.
All right. I think we should be mindful to let our constituents know that if they have a sidewalk for 50/50, let us know.
Absolutely.
And all of you out there who need sidewalk or curbs. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Madam Chair, I'd like to move item A 3.6, approval for the 2015 Duncan Solutions, Inc. and Passport parking expenses. Staff recommends City Council authorize expenditure to Duncan Solutions, Inc. In the amount of $190,400. This is for action.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye. All right. Approval of A 4.1, the approval of the Sidewalk Cafe for, is that Freshie? Mm-hmm. Located at 1596 Sherman Avenue. Move approval?
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Approval for a sidewalk cafe for Pasteri Corelli. Is that how you say it? I think so. At 600 Davis Street.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Madam Chair, I'd like to move item 4.3, approval of Sidewalk Cafe for Boltwood, located 804 Davis Street.
Second. Any discussion?
Well,
All
got a
those-
couple more to go in with the bridge.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
A 4.4, approval of sidewalk cafe for Tapas, Barcelona Cafe at 1615 Chicago Avenue.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next item is authorization to access a line of credit, 4.9 million. I see Mr. Kors here. Did you want to speak to this in any way, shape, or form, or do you?
Only if there's questions. We did a similar facility in the past. We have to expand.
Anyway, is there a second?
Oh, I'll second.
Yeah,
Did
but
you
I
want
have
to
a
speak to this, Peter?
Oh, no, I mean, I'm excited to see it done. You know, clearly, part of this funding is to help move things along for the Dempster Dodge area, something that myself and as a council, we've paid a lot of attention to over the past year. So I'm thankful to see this on the docket, and thank you guys for playing a role in it. Partners at First Bank and Trust of Evanston.
And if I could just add one thing,
Please.
and that is the downtown development, the theater, the old research park, that would never have happened unless we had gone and sold bonds, because there was no way we could pay as we went along down there. And so, given the interest rate, et cetera, there's no other way to do a tax increment financing economic development that you want a big bang out. If you want to just piddle through, for 23 years, but this is a good thing. I like it. Alderman Holmes.
My question is a math. In terms of Dempster Dodge is 2 million and Chicago Avenue is 2.2.
No, 2 point.
Well, I mean,
This is a new letter of credit. It has nothing to do with the 2.2 million originally issued. That will expire June 30th. So this is a different letter of credit for just the Dempster Dodge and Auto Barn, both of those development agreements.
Now, this
And I'm sorry if
this
it-
is an Autobahn.
This is Chicago.
This is Chicago Avenue, that's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, Main Chicago, I said Autobahn, my apologies. So it's per those two agreements, so the one was for 2.9 million, Main and Chicago, and the 2 million was for Dempster Dodge.
Okay.
But it's a different 2 million.
Okay, I'm getting that, but I could not get and I apologize beforehand because I've had a confusing week, so I may have missed it, but I can't find I saw the 2.2, I saw 2 million, but I didn't see anywhere that said 2.9. So that's why I was questioning where did the math come from, and is that just me not being able to figure out which page it was on? And I'm not saying it's not here, it's just that I didn't see it.
All right, so
Just 1 second, and I will.
if he can't find it right now,
And then, that's fine, I mean, but I
we'll do
just.
it, definitely have it threshed out at the council meeting,
Well,
definitely.
I
It starts on 2.
It's on 160.
I'm at 164, and
That was what confused me. Was it 2.2 confused me? Do you see where I am?
I realize.
I didn't,
I'm just reading the agreement, I'm sorry.
yeah.
There's Michael's signature. You are correct,
Right,
Alderman
yeah.
Holmes, in it should say 2.9. What it says is, the line of credit is separate from the originally approved amount of 2.2 million for the West Evanston and Howard Ridge TIFs. But to your point, it does not say in the summary the 2.0 and 2.9. You are correct.
Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't miss it. I didn't think I saw it. Okay, thank you.
And we've kept it at the 4.9. If you look at the attachment from the bank, it's 2 million and 3 million that are listed, and then they say for TIF 7 and TIF 8 right below that.
I got that. I just like for stuff to add up, that's all. Okay,
So
that's it.
I'm going to call for a vote here. All those in favor of recommending this to the council, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next is approval, oh, wait, who did that one?
I think you did. Did I do it? No, you did the last
You
one.
did that one.
Who's on first?
You're on first.
You are.
Yeah. Madam Chair, I'd like to move item A6, approval of the installation of Dempster Street Parklet. Do you want me to read it?
Second.
What?
It's been moved.
Any
and
discussion on this, the little
Pretty
parklet?
straightforward.
Well,
Anybody
yeah,
here today?
because it's, now they want to go for 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Should we read it, or is everyone?
I think you should,
Okay.
so people will understand what it is.
All right. Madam Chair, item A6, the Parking and Transportation Committee and staff recommend that the City Council approve a parklet sponsored and managed by Hune, a bakery for 2 parking spaces located at 810 Dempster Street. The proposed seasonal use of the parklet is for a period of time starting in mid-April to the first week of November for 4 years. So you're right, Alderman Holmes, through 2018. Staff proposes transferring $800 annually from the Economic Development Fund to the Parking Fund to offset the revenue foregoing due to the installation of the parklet.
Because they're removing parking spaces.
Yeah.
So,
Right, I know,
Any-
and no, I understood that because there's 2 parking spaces and they each yield about $400. I got that piece, so but I just think people need to know
Sure.
what it is for
okay,
this.
so are we in agreement with that? We want to recommend it?
That's fine.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, A.7, I mean, not A7, not 8.7, but A7. Ordinance 58-0-15, adding City Code Section 10-4-20, recreational vehicle parking, and amending City Code Section 10-6-2, authority to remove vehicles. Staff recommends that the City Council adopt Ordinance 58-0-15, amending Title 10, Chapter 4, stopping, standing, or parking to add Section 20, recreational vehicle parking, and amending the City Code Section 10-6-2, authority to remove vehicles to address illegal parking on recreational vehicles. It's a good thing.
Second.
All right, I have some questions. Are we having a problem of this around town?
Yeah.
We are?
Yeah.
How are people, here's what I'm concerned about. Somebody parks a recreational vehicle, somebody from out of town.
Right.
Citizens who have them registered here, we can send a letter to saying this
Right.
is going into effect.
Right.
But somebody comes to visit, and as somebody like me who has no recreational vehicle, I don't know about this rule. Are we going to, for example, flyer that vehicle the first time we find it on the street? Because I
think the way the
slap a fine on them.
Well, so yes, to answer your first question, Alderman Rainey, there is a problem that we're having over in the industrial area, and I'll get to that. But to answer your second question, I think you're allowed 2 days per the ordinance. Is that correct, Mr. Voss? Did I read that correctly?
But we're going to notify them. We're gonna-
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, the ongoing issue that we've had is with one particular person who doesn't live in the neighborhood, blocks businesses from being able to have their vehicles move back and forth, parks their large RV in front of residential homes, and has created quite a nuisance in the area.
I think we've had
So-
some of that same over in that, the Simpson, Ashland, Payne area. I think they had some of that before, but we did something different with that, with parking. It wasn't a recreational vehicle. I'm sorry, those were moving vans. Sorry.
All right, so you want to share a little with us, please?
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the committee, Mr. Lyons, Ricky Voss, Parking and Revenue Division Manager. This came to a question last year, as Alderman Braithwaite had indicated earlier. We had one RV that would keep going from site to site, blocking homes, blocking entrances, driveways, and also numerous calls of RVs parked citywide that would be stored on the street for a week or two or 3. So it was chosen that the best approach to this would be to create an ordinance where we would permit on an individual basis when they come into town to have better control over the parking of recreational vehicles. And this way, we're not ending up being a storage unit in the summer when a lot of people do bring their recreational vehicles home. To answer your question as to the, Alderman Rainey, as to the out-of-towns, there'll be something developed so when we get a complaint or we see one and we notice an out-of-state plate, that they will be surveyed and informed of the ordinance, so everybody remains in compliance. The majority of this is going to be complaint-driven, and it's the best way to control it.
Right, that's good. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All those in favor of recommending introduction, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is sale of surplus property fleet vehicles. We're recommending that the manager sign on to sell 4 vehicles owned by the city through public auction at the Northwest Municipal Vehicle Auctions.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alderman Braithwaite.
I'd like to move item A9, ordinance 52-0-15, Dryden Place addition to city street system. Staff recommends City Council adoption of ordinance 52-0-15, adding Dryden Place to the City of Evanston street system as a private street. With the approval of Dryden Place as a street name for the location, the City of Evanston will be able to provide municipal services to these single-family homes, including fire, police, and U.S. Postal Service that will be able to deliver mail.
Second. To our staff, was this before the Public Place Names Committee? I mean, how did the street get named?
I have Mr. Bobkowitz here, or is it Suzette for, Sad is in the back?
Yeah.
Oh, we just name streets all the time. I've been here 30 years. It's the first time we've ever named a new street.
Dempster,
Yeah.
Asbury, and I'm trying to figure
No.
out from this map.
No, never, never.
65, the old District 65.
I just want to know
Oh,
how.
that's where that, okay, now I
wanna
get it.
know how
Oh,
it
now
got
I get
its
it.
name.
I couldn't figure it out.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the committee. This was a part of the Asbury Ridge subdivision.
I know
in the
what
drivers
it's-
approach.
I know.
This is a request that came from the developer, and he had a long reason why this has to be a Dryden Place because of the the whole development was based on that. So the request came from the developer, so we did name this as Dryden Place.
Was it the architect who developed the original building, or what?
Bill James is the developer of these 5
I
single-family
know
homes.
who this developer is, but because he lives in my ward. I want to know, is it?
Why he
is
chose
it-
that name.
Huh?
You want to know why he chose that
I
name?
mean, is it I'm thinking maybe it's the architect of the building. Johanna knows. She's been here longer than I have.
Good evening, Johanna Knight, Economic Development Manager. I suspect the reason this is called Dryden Place is because the home was originally built for the Dryden family.
Dryden.
And Mrs. Dryden was the niece of George Eastman of Eastman Kodak.
Yes. And there's a ballroom on the top floor.
Now, see,
Big house.
that's the most important thing ever. I mean, that's excellent. Classic. I think it's great. All right.
We have to vote on it?
I think we
Would
better
anybody
vote on
like
it.
to
It's
change
being
the name of
introduced.
the street? It should be named after the alderman in the ward where the street is.
So then it becomes Wilson. Wilson Drive.
All right, that's really good. All right, so all those in favor of ordinance 52-015?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, items for discussion. Fair trade uniform purchasing. This report says that this was raised at our last council meeting.
It was raised at a previous council meeting, Alderman
At a
Rainey, members of
previous
the
council
committee.
meeting.
Yes, Alderman
How
Nguyen
previous?
made a reference about probably 4 or 5 months ago regarding this issue, and Mr. Williams Kinzel is here with a brief staff report.
I don't remember.
Nice report, but
Very nice report.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor Granny, Administration and Public Works Committee, Jonathan Williams Kinzel, ICMA Fellow. I just wanted to bring an update. The Uniform Fair Trade, and per the Uniform Fair Trade Consortium, basically requires that if we wanted to develop an ordinance, or if City Council wanted to develop an ordinance that was fair, to develop an ordinance based on recommendations. I'm sorry, I read over this again. Sorry, got a little nervous. Well, I'm sorry. There's 45 cities in seven states, including the city of Chicago, that recently passed their Uniform Fair Trade. And basically, what it is a labor agreement. There was a incident in 2013 where a factory actually collapsed, and there wasn't any labor practices to make sure it was safe. So a part of this compliance in many cities and states around the country and around the world are making ordinances where there are fair labor in their requirements when they work with vendors or when they purchase any of their products.
So how widespread would the purchase issue be? I mean, would we say we wouldn't purchase anything from anybody that?
No.
How would we know in some cases?
We would have them fill out an affidavit.
For all of our purchases?
No, it depends on the purchase and the purchase size. There's organizations and in cities that do it for under $5,000 where it's a requirement. Anything bigger than that, dealing with fire and life safety, they wouldn't really have that as a requirement in that situation.
So if I read it correctly, the police department is the only one that's actually purchasing from someone now who has that practice, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Correct.
that's what I thought. Okay.
And was that purchase purposeful, or just when we
By chance.
investigated, they happened to be fair trade?
I had to do a little bit of calling, and they were one of the only ones that actually returned with anything saying that they had a policy based on fair labor practice or purchasing anything that wasn't involved in child labor or any like illegal labor practices. The other organizations I also spoke to, some of them work with the city of Chicago, and they're not up to date on this, and I don't know about the process with the city of Chicago yet and how they're going through with their process, but I know that they are very willing to work with us on anything like that as well. So
do we just want to accept this? What do we want to do with this? I mean, I'm totally against child labor.
I mean, I was
Totally.
the biggest thing is understanding maybe any other information that you all might want to receive from me, or any further research you might want to do in the future.
Does this become a policy item?
Yeah,
For
I would sure
purchasing?
like to look into it myself a little.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, staff would research it further with both the purchasing division and the operating departments to find out more specifically where we would be able to take advantage, and any cost-benefit analysis. We know that the benefit side, we've just talked about that, but if there were any costs, to bring that back as well, and then walk into this idea of here's a specific good or service, here's something that we can move forward on, and you know, I hesitate to use the word pilot. We would actually just pick those that are most often used, those that are most competitive, and still try and get the best value.
Because it really is up to
The state of Illinois has a policy, right?
Yes.
Yes. Could we see that?
Yes.
I would like to see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because it really is up to the vendor that we're purchasing from to make sure that who they are purchasing from is doing it right.
And then they might be,
Right.
Yeah, it does get a little bit complicated in how you would, the oversight for something like that would happen, but they would have to make sure their subcontractors or any of their vendors are compliant or would be in compliance with what a policy or whatever policy that you all would want to create. So, for it.
All right, let's take another look at this, and
I
also.
think we just accept a report and then ask them to come back
definitely.
later. Yeah.
But I would really like to see the state of Illinois policy on this.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'll go look it up.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
So a motion to
Accept.
keep researching this and hopefully come up with a policy statement on it
Yeah,
sooner
maybe the
than
first,
later.
except the first phase of the report.
Yeah, right. All right, all those in favor of recommending to the council we accept this report, say aye.
Aye.
Anything else? Hearing nothing else? Move adjournment?